So yeah, hey, welcome everyone to another episode of the Loading Screen Podcast. I haven't done one of these in a few months because shit gets in the way and life is hard. Today we have Rayla joining us again, who was on like two podcasts ago. And then we got Shincry, who is another avid Monster Hunter streamer and YouTuber. So happy to have all the Spanish speaking Monster Hunter people on board here. So welcome guys. If you guys want to do a brief introduction, by all means, go for it.
Well, go
Well,
ahead, Rayla.
if Shincry wants to go first.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, as Fem said, I'm Rayla. I'm mostly a Monster Hunter speedrunner. I upload runs on YouTube every once in a while, but I'm currently taking a break from Monster Hunter. I want to come back for title update 3. So I hope to do.
I was gonna say, who isn't taking a break from Monster Hunter right now, right?
Yeah. Well, you aren't.
I am. I haven't really played Summer. I played yesterday, but I haven't actually played Sunbreak since like the first week.
I've been watching that stream. It was kind of something to see you on a dog's collar.
I don't know if you were aware. Yeah, I did like a sub.
Yeah, I know what you wanted to do.
Yeah, but I don't think Shin knew. But I did like a Twitch subscriber goal, whatever, to do Malzeno TA with heavy bowgun. But the catch was, anytime I had to abandon or get hit, I get shocked by a dog's shock collar. And after 4 hours, I fucking failed. Like I couldn't get through the hunt. It sucked really bad. And now I'm gonna have like, I get how dogs feel now. I'm gonna have like PTSD because now when I go back and do the hunt without the collar, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna get shocked anyways.
Yeah, you usually don't want to do Malzeno anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
That sounds like an experience, actually.
Yeah, not a good one. Anyway, Shane, if you want to do your introduction, by all means, go for it, man.
Yeah, sure. I guess, some kind of Monster Hunter Spanish content creator, but I also do something. Some of my videos and content is in English too. Not everything, of course. I try to put subtitles on each of the videos. I think English people can be interested, like ecology videos, etc., etc. And I also do a lot of translations of threads, infographics, etc., etc.
Yeah, thanks for putting those in English too, by the way. I appreciate it. But it's like it's rough because like most of the Monster Hunter community is not in America. It's still like very much like Europe and like and the Asian countries and stuff. It's really has like, despite the sales numbers, like it's still not super popular over here. Like nobody out here plays Monster Hunter.
Well, in Spain, it's really hard to find people that likes Monster Hunter. It's actually got the popularity on War. Before it was like, I don't know, a few people in Spain.
So you've seen some actual like surge of people interested now since World, or is it still kind of like
a lot?
Okay.
Like, for example, before I have in my group, let's say I have a group of 30 friends. Every single one try Monster Hunter.
And how many of them are still playing it?
Yeah, after war, they tried at least, and most of them like it. So I think it's a success in that way.
Yeah, like when I was in high school, I had a bunch of friends that were like really into Monster Hunter. They got me into Monster Hunter with For You, and then obviously everyone was super hyped for World, but now nobody's playing Rise or anything anymore. Like I can't find anyone to play with.
The same.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's most of me. I don't know. I did some kind of challenge with the hitless, but I might try again with the Sunbreak. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but that's most of it, I think.
Well, don't sell yourself short, man. I mean, again, it's kind of hard to find Monster Hunter content creators or just people who are interested enough in Monster Hunter that actually want to talk and make videos and do stuff Monster Hunter related. Most people just pick it up and put it down, kind of thing. So typically, also when we do like these loading screen podcasts, as I mentioned before, I usually drink, but it's like 9 a.m. So I just have Irish coffee. I don't think Rayla has anything to drink.
Some coffee.
And you got two. Coffee's good.
Even if I have, I can't really show things like no.
Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, let's just start getting into all this this Monster Hunter chatter. Let's go ahead and start with layered weapons, because that's been a hot topic, especially since this new Title Update 3 trailer came out and stuff. So what are your guys' thoughts on the whole layered weapon debacle and how much people are like throwing shit at it and like booting people from lobbies who have it and all that stuff?
I don't really mind about people buying layered weapons and stuff, because it's merely an aesthetic thing. It's not like you're buying a really powerful weapon or armor or whatever. I mean, it's just visuals.
Well, yeah, it is just visuals, and it's not like we don't have mods and stuff for that already, right?
The thing is, why even bothering kicking someone out of your lobby because they have these kind of weapons?
Well, I think that's attached to people just having this hate towards like implementing microtransactions, and the fact that you partook in that and basically are encouraging this is the reason why they're hating on the people doing it.
Yeah, that's merely sheer toxicity, because it's quite pointless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the only way they have to show, let's say, his power over the decision of the Laggeret, because they might post on internet, but that's the only way they can actually force people to stop using it or buying them. So maybe that's one reason they do it.
Oh, you know, I didn't think about that. So if they keep bullying people, obviously people are going to make like posts and online complaints about it. Then maybe Capcom will take notice that, hey, people are getting booted for having layered weapons.
Yeah, but it's merely being toxic. Some people try to justify it, say, hey, they're the owners of their house. They can do whatever the hell they want. But that's not the way to deal with it.
I mean, obviously, yeah, it's a little heavy-handed because it's not really their fault, but Capcom put the stuff in the store for people. I don't know, it just seems like everyone's really like receptive towards microtransactions. Like you always see people buying them, even if it's like the keychains from World. Like those weapon armor chains, like you barely fucking saw it, people still bought those things up.
Yeah, but people didn't complain back then.
Well, that's the other reason why I wanted to like tie into this is because I don't think people complained in World, even though World had just as many microtransactions as Rise, but World was getting an actual like development cycle with their event quests. Like they were getting so much more, and it felt like they were putting in more effort. I think the issue is that with Rise, people just feel like Capcom's putting more effort into the DLC stuff than the actual game.
I think it's not. I'm with you there, but I think also the thing is that they went one step ahead and took the laser weapons. They have more quality than the free ones. Let's call it free. There's a lot of things in there, like design, the sounds, the effects. I think that was really annoying to see that you are finishing the game in the end game, killing everything. The only weapon that shows really the power, let's say the power, is one you have to pay for, because the other ones doesn't have that many design effects like the paid one. So in my case, I'm annoyed by that.
I get it, because fashion hunting always counts. And yeah, it's the same thing as like World had like the worst weapon designs. That's actually been one of my complaints about like the bow guns and stuff, is that they all look terrible. Like I hate all of them.
Most of World designs were just bone stuff or iron stuff with many things above them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, the Jaguar's weapons. Those things are just iron stuff with some hides here and there.
and it was a bigger hit to weapons that already had a pre-existing model, like the Glavinus weapons, who looked great
for example,
before.
The
for example, the Brachii weapons.
Yeah, the drumsticks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then they make them look worse, and now they're doing that, but then they're gonna sell you the better looking weapons. But I think oh, go ahead.
I think that everyone hates the DLCs. I think, or most of the people, but you can somehow accept it if you see that the game is being developed correctly, or the design of the armors or weapons are on par with the ones they're trying to sell. I think this is not the case with Rise or Sunbreak. Also, people, I think they have fear of Capcom going one step forward and taking for more massively, like I don't know, not only cosmetic. I think people fear that.
Well, and that's an understandable fear because no game company has ever retracted back on like DLC stuff. They only ever push it more forward. So yes, I could feel like the next step for the next Monster Hunter game to be like a battle pass, not even like something crazy, but like we're gonna give you armor spheres and honey and stuff, kind of like how they did like those item packs in the older games. But that's gonna be a part of a paid battle pass system. I could see them doing that as the next thing going forward.
Yeah, that's the thing everyone fears, myself included. When the paid DLC stuff stops being merely this one.
But even if that wasn't the case, if it was still just cosmetics, what if, just hypothetical, the next Monster Hunter game, all the like weapons and armors look like poo, kind of like how Path of Exile and other ARPGs do it, and then all the cool stuff is the paid stuff. Because they're kind of already going that route with Rise, and what if they like completely double down on that for Monster Hunter 6 or whatever they're going to call it?
That would really suck, actually, because having all the cool designs be behind money isn't really a right decision.
No, but I feel like it's somewhere they would go. And it's not like they're putting all that effort into like the Risen armors and stuff. They're literally just reskin armors. Like, okay, it's a different color. That's basically it. It's not like, because like even in the older Monster Hunter games, when you had like the G rank version of armors, and then you had like the event versions of armors that were like GX or EX or whatever, they still looked different. Like there were just more stuff on them, and they were slightly different designs. And we're just not getting that. We're getting the same armors, but some color swaps.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jen. I was gonna say I can see the frustration.
I think that there's also something because you both maybe you are more focused on the speed running thing than me, for example. So I've been playing Monster Hunter a while, and I always went for the fashion hunting. I mean, I also try to go for let's say meta skills, etc., etc. But
you have that balance.
Yeah, I love fashion hunting. So when I see that they taking that approach with the cosmetic things, it starts to get on my nerve. I mean, I'm not angry. Let's say I'm not really angry, but it's annoying to see that step and a step and a step going forward with that. So yeah, for some people, even if it is not something that gives skills or etc., we dislike the DLC because we also play Monster Hunter for the cosmetic theme. You have one monster, you get that armor, that fashion look, and it's like it shows what you have done in the game.
Yeah, and I feel like since they added layered weapons and layered armors, they're really taking away the fashion hunting part, because then your armor doesn't matter because you can layer pretty much anything you want. And so that part I could see being like a drain on people who played the older Monster Hunter games. They did play for fashion and stuff like that. And because they're doing that, I feel like that's what's kind of driving them to do this DLC stuff. It's because they know people want to do the fashion hunting stuff. And I feel like the only reason why they implemented like layered weapons and stuff was so that they could sell the layered weapon DLCs. It seems like it at this point.
Yeah. I think you are on something.
But also from like my perspective, because like I'm a speedrunner, I don't care about the layered weapons. They don't mean anything to me. Like all the layered stuff, I've been using the same armor set since the beginning of Sunbreak. It doesn't matter because I don't care about it. It's like I don't understand why people are so frustrated at the layered weapons and stuff when there's much bigger issues like with Rise. But I guess those people just don't see all the stuff that goes like under the hood, like all the weird engine problems and stuff that the game has, and it's just like I see all these people like on Twitter and stuff just complaining about the DLC stuff, and I'm like, we got bigger problems. Like I don't know why you guys are making such a vocal complaint about this.
Yeah, it's like that meme of the main point of an issue flying over their head.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that a lot of people doesn't see the issues because it doesn't affect them. I mean, you both as a speedrunners see more issues in some things of Rise or Sunbreak that a lot of people doesn't care. Like some people literally doesn't care about the white books or the monster riding. Doesn't care. They simply like them.
And it's not even like mechanical stuff. I'm talking about like things that are actually busted, like how Greatsword functions faster at lower FPS compared to higher FPS, or the input drops that are still occurring, or the fact that like the mouse and keyboard support, because I'm a gunner, I have to complain about it, is just dog shit and does not work at all. Like I'm talking about like the actual mechanical complaints about the game, which is like obviously, and you're right though, people don't see it, they don't really care about it, they're not looking for it. But it's just it's frustrating to me that what gets highlighted is that we don't like deals, the microtransaction DLCs. Not this game's actually pretty busted.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
and that has to do with most of the player base being, and this will probably sound quite bad, being casual players.
Yeah,
because most of the player base won't care about technical stuff like shorties for gunning stuff or what you just said. Greatsword being faster at 30 FPS.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
and even if they know, they don't care.
I know. I'd like to feel that Monster Hunter community is very vocal and they do care about their games. So if they knew and if it affected them more, they would probably care more than the DLC stuff. They just, like you said, they don't see it. They don't really care about it. So,
nope.
Oh.
Okay, so I think we kind of bashed the layered stuff to death at this point. So let's go ahead and move on. So now that Title Update 3 is coming out, I don't know if you guys have seen the leaks, but it was basically what we expected from Title Update 3. What do you guys think is going to happen for Title Update 4?
I think there's not a lot to speculate about the monsters because it says one Elder and one Rising, sorry. And basing on the actual Elders right now, that could have a Ryzen version. The only one left, I think, is Malseno and Sagaru, if I'm not wrong.
We could get Valstrax too.
Oh, and Bastra, yeah, right. And although it's not impossible, I think Malseno feels kind of weird to have a Ryzen version.
I was just talking about that on stream yesterday. Like, isn't he already one with the Kiro bugs or whatever? Like, how would he do a Risen thing?
Yeah, the main characteristic of Marceno is that he assimilated the Curio thing. So it wouldn't make too much sense to for him to have a Ryzen version.
I guess you could say that Malseno gets overwhelmed by then after Geismagor died. So maybe that's a reason to say that after getting overwhelmed, he rises again with them.
Okay, so hear me out. Obviously, probably not for Title Update 4, but maybe it's like the last title update. What if we don't get Risen Malzeno? Because that it would make kind of like no sense. But what if we get a subspecies Malzeno that is more with the bugs? Because I feel like Malzeno has got the same like symbiotic relationship with the bugs as Zinogre does with the Fulgur bugs that are giving him his lightning, or he's using to charge his lightning. It's like the same thing. And obviously Zinogre changes when he gets the Dracophage bugs. But so what if we get something else with Malzeno where like he gets all the other Curio bugs and he gets like a new variant or whatever rather than a Risen?
Yeah, I can see that happening.
I always wonder how Malseno could survive without the Curios, because I think the Curios should be a recent thing. I mean, what is Malseno without Curios? How does he attack? What does he do?
Well,
I always
oh, go
yes,
ahead.
sorry.
Oh,
No, go,
okay.
go.
I was gonna say, well, because I think most of his powers and stuff come from his like blood draining ability. Because without the Curio stuff, like he still has a lot of his own like vampiric attacks. He only uses the Curios to do like a couple of like the big blood balls and like the 3 blood things that like he shoots out. He still has like his own like blades when he's in a morb mode, and I think he's got like his own stuff. So without them, I think he would be simpler. I just don't think he would be able to like drain as much energy, because I think he's using the leeches to drain from people, and then they're coming back to him to feed him as well. So it'd probably be just like a really exhausted Malzeno.
Yeah.
Like celiac Malzeno.
So yeah, on the racing thing. So that's left out with Shagaru and Balstrax. So I think there's no a lot of speculation around there, unless they add a monster and a Ryzen version, which I doubt.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Yeah. So I will guess one of them. On the other hand, the Elder Dragon theme. Since the announcement, literally every single tweet I have seen, it was about Amatsu. I haven't seen the leaks, as you know, but I think I knew it was leaked because it's hard to find an entire community guessing that Amatsu will be the next Elder Dragon. So
right, little fishy.
Like there's no clue, there's nothing telling that Amatsu will come. I mean, even the expansion is European.
Yeah.
It will make no sense. There's nothing telling you that Amatsu will come. So I guess it was a leak.
Do you want me to just explain the leak then really quick?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, because I mean it's nothing big, but it's basically in the files they have like the order of all the monsters, and they have used the same monster numbers since like the dawn of time. And so the blank that's coming in as the Elder Dragon fill-in is right after Zinogre. And so the only things that come after Zinogre in like their monster ID list is Zinogre subspecies, but we already have Thunderlord, and I don't think we're getting Stygian because it's not an Elder Dragon. But right after that is Amatsu in the monster IDs. So everyone's going to assume it's Amatsu just because it comes in next.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because the ID is already there in game. It's just blanked out right now. And they're like, oh, well, we know what ID that is, kind of. And then right. It can't be a new Elder because they would put it at the end of the list. And yeah, so that's why everyone says it's Amatsu, which I could see because Rise in general was a more Asian-themed Monster Hunter. And I feel like maybe they already planned for Amatsu and they just due to COVID and other things that kind of messed up the Rise launch, that they just like, yeah, we'll put it in the next game kind of thing.
I think it's a shame. Rise was perfect for this. For Amatsu.
It was.
Base Race was quite good for Amatsu to be that because of the Japanese thematics.
It's the same devs that did Amatsu in the past. I mean, come on. Wait for an expansion that is not the same thing, but whatever. They will find some lore thing to put the piece.
It would be, I don't know. The reason why we go back to Kimura, because we have never gone back to Kimura in Sunbreak. Like we're just exiled from that place.
Right. You're right. I didn't notice. Yeah. We didn't come back.
Well, there's no reason to go back to Kimura ever. Like unless you wanted to go to the target dummy, like that was the only thing that was there.
Well, and the followers, maybe.
But you bring them to your quest here in Elgato. You don't have to go back to do them or anything.
Yeah.
Sure, because you have to visit them and you hunt on Kimura grounds, I think.
Do you?
I mean, yeah, that you hunt with them in some maps that are around Kimura, like the Shrine Rings, etc., etc.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we do those. I'm just saying, like, we physically don't go back to Kimura because it's just everything in the hub is all right there in Elgato.
Yeah. I know what you mean now. Yeah.
So, Amatsu and the monster. You think they're gonna do anything else as far as like changing the Kuro system or adding new things? Because In Title Update 3, Gunlance finally gets shell augments. Do you think any other weapon's going to get some new augments?
I mean, so far that's what they're doing with everything. They add some anomaly levels. They add some augments. It seems like in this next update, it will be a new option to augment armors. That it will be less energy, I think, or at least what that was within. So there are probably more things like that in the future.
Do you think they're just gonna like simplify it, make it easier to upgrade and stuff?
Yeah,
they're gonna keep doing, I think.
I wonder if they're gonna add like, because right now for the Title Update 3 armor augments, you can choose between defense or skills. I wonder if they're gonna add like slots, so you can pick slot upgrades as Title Update 4.
Yeah, for example, probably.
Or being able to look up a specific skill.
I don't know about that. That's a bit much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of do that with the charms. Like you can like put in a charm and get something similar out of it. I think if you put in like a bunch of like Wex charms or whatever, you can get Wex out. So maybe, but I don't know. I think for the armor augment system, I think that's a little too good.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that we will see anything big or new in the system. I don't think so, but who knows? I didn't expect the curious crafting either. So
true, I wasn't expecting them to make it better, and they thought it made charms better. Like I like how they like said, "Oh yeah, we'll make the armor augment system better," but it's like the charms are still just as bad RNG wise.
That's not happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Priorities, I guess. People gave up on charms. So what else is on the horizon? Oh, the new Monster Hunter game got announced. Kinda.
Yeah, kinda.
Well, it's something.
Yeah, so
let's leave it at that.
What's the developers that's doing it? It's like Phemeto or something like that. It's another like mobile game developer that's doing the next Monster Hunter game. Not like mainland Monster Hunter game, but obviously it's going to be like a phone based one. And it's not like Monster Hunter is like new to the phone marketplace. Like there's a ton of mobile games for Monster Hunter. I just don't know why they bothered to like make this big announcement like, hey, Monster Hunter is teaming up with these people to make another Monster Hunter game. And when it's like, yeah, but it's just gonna be a shitty phone game. What do you guys think the game's gonna be?
Go ahead, Rayla.
Yeah, it being a mobile game, it's quite bad already. Because besides from that, we won't know what kind of game will it be. Like, will it be a gacha? Will it be some like MOBA? Maybe, I don't know.
Both, because it's a phone game.
Yep.
Because
that would be a terrible concept.
Well, look at fucking Pokemon Unite. That's a gacha MOBA. That's actually what I'm expecting the new Monster Hunter game to be, because it's the same people who did Pokemon Unite, right?
Yes, they're the same.
Yeah, so
I don't know, but I can really see it.
Yeah, they are the same. They are the same.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they could do something different, but do you really think they're gonna?
Here's the thing. Pokemon Unite wasn't really a gacha. It was more like pay to progress. You had like some items that there were no random in that. Simply, you have some items and you can evolve the items to give more stats to your Pokemon. And you had to pay or grind, but a lot. I mean, you could spend like I don't know 3 weeks to max out an item, one of them of every single item you could use, or else you could pay a lot too. So yeah, it's not the worst, I think. I mean, I hate gacha a lot with all of my soul. I just can't understand the gacha. I can't. I don't find the satisfaction in that kind of genre, let's say.
Well, do you gamble? This is the thing?
No.
Okay, there you go. Because I don't gamble either. I live in Las Vegas and I don't gamble.
Oh.
And so the whole gacha thing is that it's people who like to gamble, like the gacha. It's the same thing. So probably why you don't like it.
Yeah. So it's not exactly the best, the system of Pokemon Unite, but it could be a lot worse, to be honest. So I expect something like that for the Monster Hunter mobile game. But I can see myself playing the game for a while, especially if it is a MOBA, because I don't know, I like MOBAs. I like to try them to see every single, let's say, character you can play around a little. So I might like it for a while. I won't be hype, but I think I'm interested in a crossover, in a kind of game different from the main line of Monster Hunter, like playing a monster, like using Rathalos, using, I don't know, Nergigante, is especially seeing how they adapt the skills in the game to the mobile one.
I can see that. Do you really think like if it is a mobile game, it'll be like you're playing as the monsters, kind of like Pokemon? It'd be like the same thing as Pokemon at that point, right? Like it would just be literally a reskin of Pokemon Unite, but with Monster Hunter stuff.
Well, that's not unusual in the mobile market. I mean, you have things like every single gacha. Most of them is the same company, but with another skill. Or let's say, I don't remember the name, but the Pokemon Go company.
Yeah. Oh,
Niantic. Tencent.
Yeah. No,
it's Niantic.
Niantic too. Yeah.
Yes, they did a lot, like 3 games with the same concept that Monster Hunter, Pokemon Go had. So I could see them doing a game, a reskin of Pokemon Unite with Monster Hunter. Like in Pokemon Unite, you have the trainer and the Pokemon, of course, right? Well, I think it could be like the rider and the monster.
Oh, they could do like a Pokemon or not Pokemon, Monster Hunter Stories kind of thing, where you're
Exactly.
right. Okay,
I can see them doing that.
Monster Hunter Stories was actually released on mobiles too, I think.
I think the first one was. I don't think the second one.
Yeah, the first one was. The second wasn't, I think. But and besides the stories, I think there was a Monster Hunter game for mobile phone.
Oh,
well, there's a couple. There's
Monster Hunter Explore, I think it was. Yeah, Monster Hunter Explore.
I mean, they have an actual Monster Hunter game too. What was it? Was it Freedom something? Not Freedom Unite, but there's another like Gen 2 Monster Hunter game on the phone, isn't there?
There are more of them. I think there are 3 of them.
With some Frontier monsters too, if I remember correctly.
Really? It's got Frontier monsters?
Or maybe it has his own monsters. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen Monster Hunter Frontier, Monster Hunter Stories, of course. Oh, there are a lot of them. There's even a card game for Monster Hunter.
Now, is that Tekken, which is just a Capcom game that just has Monster Hunter stuff? Or is there an actual Monster Hunter card game?
No. It was an actual Monster Hunter game, I think.
Oh.
There's also a tabletop game, I think.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, it's not something new, to be honest.
Right. Okay. I mean, so are you guys excited for it all? Obviously, Shin, you kind of said you'll probably play it, but Rayla, are you excited for the new mobile game?
I don't know if I will play it. It mostly depends on how good to play it is.
It won't.
If it won't be any good or even remotely looking like the main series Monster Hunter games.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's going to look like Stories, if anything.
If it's not like that, I'm going to see
it. Did you play Pokemon Unite?
No.
No. Okay.
I did.
I figure like if you probably like that, you'd probably like this Monster Hunter game, assuming it's a mobile game.
In general, I don't like MOBAs much, so
I like them. So I tried. It wasn't bad at all. I mean, that's fine. For I will say that it's one of the best free-to-play mobile games right now. Seriously, because more of the market is shit.
Yeah.
It's filled with gacha and shit games. So that the Pokemon Unite was good, to be honest, in that way. I mean, so I had some fun. I played for I think a month. It's a lot, to be honest. And since because it was multiplayer, I was playing with some friends. It has even competitive, etc., etc. So yeah, I think it was good for what it was.
Okay. Well, I mean, that gives me a little bit more hope for this game then, because I mean, we always want more Monster Hunter stuff, and as long as the game's not bad, like as far as filled with microtransactions and pay to win stuff, then it's probably worth a pickup. I'm just wondering if they're gonna release it like just on the phone, or are they gonna port it to Switch or something at some point? Because isn't Unite on the Switch as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, they could do that.
Yeah, they could. That's actually a good way to boost the sales of the other games. Like if they use the theme of stories, they could use to boost more sales of that game.
Right.
A bit late, but
I mean, yeah, eventually. I'm still really mad that they never ported the original stories to Switch, and when they were like marketing the shit out of Stories 2, they could have done that and been like, and you can download Stories 1 at the eShop right now. I'm like, come on.
Yep. You're right.
Could have. Okay, so put that out of the way. Let's go ahead and talk about the Frontier monsters and how Frontier is slowly getting pushed into mainland Monster Hunter, because I see like a lot of people really like that Frontier stuff is coming more mainland, but I've never played Frontier. I have no interest in playing Frontier. So
yeah,
tell me why. Tell me why, because I assume Shin, you're one of those Frontier players.
I'm playing it right now.
Okay.
Frontier, and so far I'm liking it. I think that someone in your Discord says something along the lines that until one rank, the game it feels like the old gem Monster Hunter, and afterwards it gets messy and doesn't make any sense. It doesn't feel like a Monster Hunter. I think he might be right, to be honest. I didn't reach the G rank yet.
Wasn't there
I
like
think
beyond G rank in Frontier? There's like Zenith rank or GX or something like that.
I think there's like low rank, high rank, go rank, and then G rank, and then Zenith rank, I think.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, so I've been so far on the last part of high rank, and so far I think that there's a lot of monsters that have good design. Seriously, I was surprised by some of them that are really good, even for, I mean, they're from 10 years, I think, or even more.
Yeah,
And
because
they,
I think Frontier started in Gen 2, right? Like the Gen
yeah.
2 game.
And I was surprised when I saw some monsters that were really, really, really good, even for, I don't know, Monster Hunter 4 or Generation. They could be in there and no one will notice that it has like 10 years ago, 10 years old, you know? So when I saw the transition from Frontier to Monster Hunter Sunbreak with Spinas, I think they did a really good job with the Spinas. And I have hope that some of the monsters that I liked so far on Frontier could be in the mainline, because I think they have a good design. For example, I think it was Tharupurusu or something like that. The names are so
All the
weird.
names are crazy.
Yes. I think it was something like Tharuperusu. So this monster is actually more interesting than the Lagiacruz, and it's older than Lagiacruz. I was surprised. I was like, "Wow, this is so old." Yet it feels more interesting, the combat at least, than like Yakrus. It's like a Leviathan that it's formed from crystals in his body, and he reflects the light in form of lasers. He stick his head in the ground and starts spinning. I don't know, and it doesn't feel like crazy, like the monsters you will see, like the white Nagakuga that blink around the map. You know what I
Yeah,
mean,
when you
right?
see clips of Frontier, you just see crazy
Yeah.
shit all the time.
Well, those monsters I'm talking about doesn't feel like crazy. So I'm interested in seeing them in the mainline with the remake they could do, like the flaming spinas, etc.
Now, obviously, I think it's a little late to be wanting Frontier stuff in Sunbreak, and we know the next Monster Hunter game is going to be done by the A team. Same as like most of the first games. So do you think they're going to add more Frontier stuff into that, or are we going to have to wait till the spin-off game of next generation to potentially get more Frontier stuff?
I think that we could see more Frontier monsters on the next game, because I have my own theory that the next Monster Hunter is gonna have Lagiacrux.
Just because of the outlash against Lagian World, or what?
No, they tried to go with Laggy in World, but they couldn't. And they tried in Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak to make Mitsutsune, which technically is another Leviathan. So I think that the next game is gonna promote or boost the sales with Lagiacrux to the old fans.
Probably.
I think. So there are probably more Leviathans, like the one I said. I think that it could go well with the game. Seriously, I think it could.
Come back, underwater combat!
Also, I think there's gonna be some form of water combat, but not sure. I think it could be pretty cool, to be honest. As long as they don't add the annoying monster from Frontier, it could be good for the game.
Which annoying monster? Because that's a lot.
Because World already has some slight races of underwater stuff. Like, for example, on the Primal Forest, there were certain areas where you have to swim.
Yeah, there's a lot of transition zones. I think there's one in the desert too where you have to actually swim. So I feel like they obviously, because we saw like the alpha and stuff for World, they tried doing water stuff, and then it just either time or whatever just did not work out for them.
And like Lagiacrux was actually going to be in World, but they did the idea before the release.
Yeah, that alpha for World was pretty cool.
So yeah,
that'd be cool. If that's the case, I want Ignactor to come back too, because I like Ignactor a lot. Yeah, clickety clacks, man. It's a great monster.
I love it. I mean, Ignactor maybe it's kind of old in the moveset thing, but they could reworking like other monsters they did.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like any monster that they bring back, they could rework. That's actually another topic I wanted to talk about. So I'm on the boat of I would still prefer to see all new monsters before we get returning monsters. Would you, for like, let's say the next Monster Hunter game, assuming that we're not going like to a new undiscovered world like World was, if we're going to back to like the mainland of whatever the region is, would you still prefer to see newer monsters, or would you like to have a more returning cast just of old monsters we haven't seen for maybe 2 or 3 generations, but then just souped up to this new style?
I would prefer to see new monsters, because most of the returning monsters here were actually not that good combats between many stuff. For example, Gore Magala, I honestly can't stand the combat here.
Well, it's easy to understand. All he does is charge. That's fucking all Gore does in Sunbreak is charge.
Shit's boring. Like, how can anyone like that kind of combat?
Well, I thought Steve was worse, because not only did Seregios not have his roll to sharpen weapons, which was a big hit, but also Seregios only does like 3 attacks. I swear to God, he's got like his feet dive, a longer feet dive, like one like tail throwy spike thing, and like his come around to grab you attack, and that's it. I don't think he has anything else.
Yeah, I had high expectations for Steve too, and it was quite a disappointment.
So, I think that it depends, because for example, I'm a huge fan of Kurupeko.
Oh yeah.
And I really want to see Kurupeko in a game that now can hold like 4 monsters in the same map. It's an open world map, let's say, not like before that there was some thumbs. So I think that Kurupeko should be again on the mainline Monster Hunter. So yeah, I want to see some monster returning to the game. But I'm with you, Rayla, and I want to see new monster more than all monsters. Because usually...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, people.
No. Kurupeko will be a really good addition because it has one of the most unique gimmicks on the entire series.
Well, that's actually what I wanted to talk about, because they could gut that gimmick, because they do tend to gut monster gimmicks a lot. But because of the way the map and the intruder system works, Kurupeko would be the only monster that could actually bring up a new monster without us already knowing it's on the map.
Because who doesn't remember back on 3U when you just advance to high rank and you do the Crimson Kurupeko quest, and so, he starts singing, and suddenly you look at your back, and there's a villager there.
Yeah, that's probably the most iconic thing about, well, 3U in general, but also Kurupeko, is just the summoning of a random Joe. And I like Joe, and I like invader monsters in general, which I'm really sad that like World and Rise got rid of all that stuff, because it's not a surprise anymore.
Yeah. How far did you reach in the Monster Hunter 3, Phemeto?
I finished Village in 3. I'm moving on to the hub stuff now that we have the servers and stuff for that. It's a fucking pain in the ass because I don't have enough ammo and craftables to get through hub stuff on my own. It sucks. But I'm slowly making my way through that.
Well, if you don't mind, soft spoiler maybe. You may know already. You know what happened when you reach high rank in the hub.
Well, we're gonna have this like the same thing. We're gonna have the Peko summon a Joe, right?
Yeah, you start. Well, for people that didn't know, Devil Joe wasn't in the game, right? You reach high rank, and then suddenly you have the first mission to capture a Kurupeko.
Yeah.
You went for the Kurupeko, and suddenly he started doing a new sound, a new roar, and you was like, "This is not a Rathian. What is this?" And then the music changed, and you see behind a monster. Like Devil Joe, you were like, "What the hell is going on?" And also, he could kill the Kurupeko, and you could fail the mission. The quest,
yeah,
sorry.
I didn't know about that part.
So it was kind of a thing, it was traumatizing. I want to see that back in the Monster Hunter.
Well, so I would like stuff like that too, like those weird random surprises. Kind of like when Rise got its first title update and they snuck in Basil Goose. Nobody knew Basil Goose was going to be in. It was just like, hey, here you go. My only complaint about it was that they made a quest that had Basil Goose right there, so you just see it. You didn't like see a question mark on the map, but you didn't have the invader.
It was even worse. You log in the game, and then a quest appears in your screen with Betelgeuse.
Yeah, it's like they kind of ruined it, which sucks because like nowadays, like everything gets data mined and leaked early, so like we know everything. And I thought Basil Goose was a good surprise.
Not even data mined. On Base Rise, before the release, we could officially see everything that was going to go into the game.
True.
Modern Arwa, Balsrags, many stuff.
Yeah. I mean, well, we didn't know when Basil Goose was coming was the thing.
I mean, I don't see any leaks, but it's kind of hard because the more you go into the community, the more people talk about the leaks. It's like, I'm not blaming people. People is talking. I'm the one who's going inside the Discord, etc., etc. But it's kind of hard. I feel a little sad to don't have any surprises, like you say, because the leaks, etc. It's kind of sad, I like to go at least the most bling possible to the game.
Yeah, I thought World did a pretty good job at that. Like we knew most of the roster for going into World, but not like most of the low rank and high rank stuff. And I would just like to see the next Monster Hunter game like not advertise and show every flippin' monster on all the trailers leading up to the game, and just so we just go in blind. We don't know what monsters are going to be out there, and then that way, like once obviously the game comes out, people are going to data mine the shit out of it. But at least we could ignore that because we're going to be playing the game on launch day. We just don't know.
Yeah,
would be nice.
I was really surprised when in War I went slow. I always go in Monster Hunter slow, doing my everything until I reach the next rank. So I was completing all the optionals with my friend, and suddenly it was I think 3 a.m. And then a Kirin, I think it was a low rank Kirin, appears out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, there's a Kirin in this game. I didn't know, right? So it was a nice surprise. I would like what you say, that they don't announce every single monster in the rooster. It kind of ruins the surprise.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like how Rise was. Like we knew all the monsters for Rise going in. Like, what was a surprise? I don't think any monster was in.
Maybe Narwa.
I guess yeah, the last boss. They don't show the last boss really.
Yeah, they don't show the last boss, never.
But that's
So,
it.
yeah,
Like
maybe.
everything else we knew. So it's like okay, because they showed like a Maldrin and Raknikadaki and all that stuff, and Gossarog. We knew about those way before the game came out.
Yep. I think that nowadays it's hard to please the people that doesn't want to know anything and the people that want to know what they are buying. So it's kind of hard to balance that. I think they went with Rise clear as sky. They went and okay, here's everything. You know what you're buying, but yeah, then there was the updates.
Yeah, and then there's the updates or lack thereof, really. Speaking of updates and stuff, we kind of want to talk about the collaborations and stuff for Sunbreak and I guess going forward. What are your guys' thoughts about the collabs compared to like previous generations of Monster Hunter games and then now with Rise?
Now in Rise, they're obviously really poor.
Well, it's just Capcom collabing with themselves at this point.
Yeah. Many less collabs, much worse quality of those.
I thought the Sonic one was kind of cool though, like having an actual like unique quest. Obviously, it wasn't anything like crazy, but just having to collect the rings and stuff and go really fast to collect the rings. I thought that was kind of neato at least, because I don't think we need to have like crazy collaborations like Final Fantasy and Witcher like from World, where we had like actual like quest lines and other weird stuff to do, and then they added a monster. I think just like in Iceborne, we had the Resident Evil quest where it's just you fight a Valhazak, but then you have like the herbs to pick up and you have the zombie transformation. I thought that was enough to make a really cool collaboration quest. So I don't know if we really need the crazy stuff, but I guess the real question is, should we be getting them? Should we be expecting them? Or is that like something that, it's just we don't necessarily need?
So, first of all, sorry if I speak too much.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Dude, okay. When me and Sarah talk, like I think we do like a 2-hour podcast, and then we talk for like 6 hours afterwards. Like Sarah doesn't fucking shut up, but
and if anything, I'm barely speaking in really long intervals.
Yeah, I don't want to make someone feel isolated in the podcast. So if I speak too much, tell me something that okay, let Rayla speak or something.
That's fine.
Besides, I'm barely speaking because there's people around here going on and out.
Yeah. So on the collaboration thing, okay. There's one thing that I don't like about let's say what people is claiming about the collaboration. That okay, we were fine with the collaborations level of design that we have on all the Monster Hunter. They were fine. Like just say we don't need the level of Final Fantasy or The Witcher. I mean, they are fine. I like them at some level. That's some things that I didn't like, but in general, I like that amount of work and design on a collaboration. But what I really want is, let's say, a more variety in the collaboration with other things. Like Sonic was fine, but it was the same as we had, I think, in Monster Hunter 4. We had Sonic already there. Yeah. So it feels like they reuse the same as in the past.
Didn't we have a Sonic collab in World 2? I thought I remember. Yeah, I thought in World wasn't there like that super annoying Sonic Palico skin that you just hear it like do like coin shit all the time?
Yes, but I think it was in Monster Hunter 4.
Oh, was it 4?
Because I remember clearly in 4. I remember clearly that fucking sound.
It's like
I was always playing with some random people, and they all had that skin. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I want to say that I don't think that, as you say, need that high elaborate collaboration. Sorry, but we don't have any right now, and most of them are kind of lacking. I think. I don't know. I think the Akuma one was pretty good, to be honest. I like the design of the quest where you could choose to go for the big Rajan or the small one.
Mm-hmm.
Like a difficulty selector that you could go optional. I think that was a good collaboration, but I really want more variety. They are always, like you say, collaborating with themselves, and I want things like the One Piece one, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They
Dude,
did one.
JoJo Cat's the best cat.
Yeah. They had a Fire Emblem things. I don't know. They had a lot of things, and I like that when they go and explore in new things in the collaborations, which they are doing at all in Sunbreak. We don't have any collaborations announced or present right now, and it's kind of weird.
I don't think we're gonna get any, to be honest. I don't think they're devoting too many resources to Sunbreak at this point, and I think they're just focusing on the next Monster Hunter game, which sucks. But at the same time, I guess that could be good for the next Monster Hunter game. As far as the collaboration stuff goes, do you want like collaboration quests where we just get like some random like layered armors and stuff from other franchises, or because what I was actually missing was like from all the Nintendo collaborations we had in like Gen and 4U and all that stuff, is we actually had like armors and weapons and usable things like the Metroid Various suit and the Zero suit and their bow guns, and then we had like all those other weird funky like Pirate J weapons and stuff. But the quests themselves weren't very special. It's just like, hey, go fight this monster. This is the theme for the quest. So what would you prefer? Like the quest itself being more toward the collaborations, or do you want the rewards being of something else?
That's a question, to be honest. I think I like the more focus on the rewards, because that's what you're gonna see more often in use. And yeah, basically, that's basically. I like more when the rewards are being focused, so you can have late weapons, or as you say, weapons itself, like or armors. I think that's more cool in the long term of the game.
True.
In long term, that's better. But I think the quest itself being based on what game is collaborating with, it's kind of fun too. For example, the Okami quest was about collecting flowers, I think, or something similar. The Sonic quest, as you said before, it was about getting up on your dog and collect rings as fast as possible. And that kind of stuff is cool too.
Yeah, so I'm curious though, would you prefer the quest be something just simple like that, where it's like, hey, we already kind of have the same general quest layout, or do you want it to be more like The Witcher, where they're putting in a lot of production value to have an actual like more towards like the actual game that they're collaborating with, not just like, hey, here's monster. Like take like the Dante quest from World. It's just, hey, we fought a bunch of like fire monsters because the quest name was Code Red, so we fought all the red monsters. It was still Dante and like Devil May Cry themed, but it was just, it's a pretty standard monster quest. You just got, the rewards for it. It's like, what degree do you want the quest to be like about the collaboration?
I think I would want collaboration more like the Behemoth and Legend one.
Okay, so actually have the story and like aspects from those games in the game.
An actual theme quest and words.
I mean, yeah, obviously, for example, the Final Fantasy one was really good because it have both the armor, the weapon, and even the story and design of the collaboration. But the thing is, if you have to choose one side of them, no rewards and good design, or bad design and good rewards. But because sometimes if we have a collaboration, it only have like you say the Dante one. People, a lot of people complain because they compare with the Final Fantasy one and say like, okay, I want a new monster, I want that design, I want that music, that everything. So it's kind of hard to balance that.
Well, I feel like it's unrealistic to expect like Final Fantasy collaboration on everything. Because I mean, obviously they put a lot of effort into that, and they can't do that for every little thing, especially with how many collaborations World had. That's a lot.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy one was huge. Even in the Final Fantasy game, we had they had the Monster Hunter one.
That was the coolest part, is that their game got our shit too.
Yep. It was pretty cool, to be honest. It was very well done because you didn't have any heals support. There were not there's one no aggro in Final Fantasy, and it was really cool that both sides copy the other thing.
Yeah, I feel like we're not going to get anything like that again, but it would have been cool.
Yeah, but most likely not.
Yeah. I'm still under the like. I would love to have, obviously every collaboration come with some tangible rewards like weapons and armors, but I think having an experience that gave like not necessarily like a physical reward, but just something else. Like, what if we had the Witcher quest line where we had, it was, it had a story, it had like a different kind of quest.
Yes,
but
something that tells you, yes, this is a The Witcher collaboration, or yes, this is a Final Fantasy collab.
Yeah, it's something that's like it's not you're not playing. You don't feel like you're playing Monster Hunter. You feel like you're playing another thing. But then the best part about the Witcher quest line was that they gave you an attack up charm at the end. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, free attack up decoration!" Like, so what if they had like collaboration quests where it's like it's more of an experience, and then you get like, I don't know about what the next Monster Hunter game would have as like their RNG grind, but you get like a grindable item that was like RNG, but you actually just get it, and then maybe you get like a layered or a token, because you also got like the rune to do the fire attack emote kind of thing for The Witcher. It wasn't necessarily like something you're going to use all the time, but it's just a nice little token from the game. I think I would have preferred something like that, and I feel like that's a lot less resources compared to adding a monster and armor and weapons to everything.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Thing is that I think that a lot of people will complain about that.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of people will say, "Why bother?"
Yeah, but people complain about everything basically.
Yeah. But a lot of people doesn't care about the event itself. They just want rewards. Well, a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, for sure, you're right. But my problem with, if you're going to give us tangible rewards like armors or weapons, you have two problems. Either the armor and weapons are going to be the new OP meta stuff, think the Behemoth armor, which we used well into Master Rank, or it's not as good as our current gear, and people are going to be like, well, why bother? So I think it's a lose-lose regardless. I feel like just fucking don't add it in. Give us some other weird trinkets and tools and stuff.
Yeah, you have a point.
I mean, you're not going to win regardless, but that's just, I feel like I would prefer to go that route rather than constantly add weapons and armors. Layers would be cool to add too. I know that's kind of where we're at, is they're just adding layered stuff, but it's also, I think the problem with Sunbreak's event quests is just like, it's just a 2 monster hunt is essentially all of these are. It's an arena fight or something where we fight these monsters we already have. There's nothing special about the quest. And then it's like, hey, here's a layered. And like, nobody cares. But if they actually put effort towards the collaboration quest, and then the layered was something from that game that they're collaborating with, I think that would be much better received.
Probably. I think that the Final Fantasy and the Witcher collaborations were a mistake because they put the level too high, and
Yeah.
now everyone want the equal or more higher. So that's kind of hard.
Yeah, probably it was their mistake. But I don't know, maybe, but because they put that much effort into it, maybe Monster Hunter 6, where we'll see more like big effort stuff like that.
Let's hope.
Let's just hope. We can't really say anything for sure now.
Yeah. So what else do we have to talk about? Oh, let's talk about the older Monster Hunter games, because as we mentioned earlier, everyone is kind of taking a break from Sunbreak. First, how do you guys plan on playing like title update 3, 4, 5? What are your guys' current feelings on Sunbreak and the updates?
I'm planning to come back to the game on title update 3 and come back to speed running a bit. There's actually a little project I have in mind, and that has to do with speed running, but I need quite too many people for it.
Do you want to spoil what that project is?
Yes, it's basically do a great sword with all the remaining weapons, great sword included.
Oh, okay.
Because but I need too many people for that, and I don't know how many people will be up for it.
You need people that are competent with a lot of weapons.
Yeah, that's really hard. So I understand that it's a difficult approach. Well, let's just see.
Fair enough. And then Shin, what is your thoughts currently on Sunbreak and title updates?
It's kind of hard because I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate because I actually like Sunbreak. I enjoy
I like Sunbreak too. All right, we're not saying Sunbreak shit.
Here, like Sunbreak. What's the point on hating anyone?
I mean, I don't know. I like most of the things. I actually feel like War and Iceberg were good, very good games, but not very good Monster Hunters. I actually think that. Sorry, I don't like a lot of the changes that War had. I don't think they are bad. They're simply they took a step far away from what was Monster Hunter or what I liked about Monster Hunter. Even if Sunbreak and Rise follow the same steps of War, they kind of go a bit closer to the Monster Hunter I like, or for example, Monster Hunter Generations. I think they are kind of similar in some aspects. So I enjoy Sunbreak. I enjoy the update we have. I like Flaming Espinas. I like the how it is Lucen Nargacuga. I don't know. I like most of the update we had. I like the Violet Mitsu. It's called
Violet Mizu. Yeah.
I had fun with them. I enjoy it. The problem maybe it's because I don't speedrun that I don't see the problems with the encounter with the design. There's probably something on that because I go for the monster, I kill him maybe a few times, maybe for fun, but I don't go so seriously with them, and maybe I don't see the mistakes you all in the speedrun community see in the monster design. You know.
To be honest, I like most of the fights they've been adding in too. Like title update 1 and 2, their monsters have been great. Like I haven't complained about the fights at all. Like I don't like Flaming Espinas just because it feels too much like normal Espinas, just with nastier fireballs. Like I thought that was whatever, but like Violet Mizu, Gold Silver Wrath, like I thought they were great. Lucid Nargacuga is also an amazing fight. All good stuff. My only real complaint is that again I just have problems with the mouse and keyboard support, the drop of inputs and all that stuff. Which yes, because I'm a speedrunner, I see that all the time because that's all I'm doing.
And I'm not a speedrunner, but I also hate the mouse keyboard control. I play with them, so yeah, I know your feelings.
Yeah, it sucks. And it's just like because I don't hate Sunbreak, I don't want to keep playing it because that's what I do as I speedrun, and it's just painful to speedrun. And it's not like Sunbreak's a bad game. It's a good game. It's not something that has the lasting appeal for me, which is why I'm not really playing it. So like I'm interested in the title updates, but also around this time, there's a lot of games coming out, and it's like I don't know if I have the time to get back into Sunbreak at this point, because there's obviously every time they add a title update, it's just going to be more Sunbreak, which is fine because they're adding in new stuff. It's just I don't know. I don't know if I just want to deal with it while they still haven't fixed the mouse and keyboard issues, which are my biggest complaints.
I think a good deal of the complaints everyone has depend on the weapon they play. For example, I play Great Sword. I can deal with the 30 or 60 FPS thing. Example, you two maining bowguns, you're probably fed up with the shortcut thing of the keyboard mouse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that that people how to put it in words. I'm gonna be clear. I think that people got burned from Monster Hunter itself. Let me get it straight. I'm not trying to blame the player, and I don't think that Rise and Sunbreak is a perfect Monster Hunter. I don't think so. I think it has very his own little mistakes, like the Weaver riding. To be honest, I don't like it. I mean, it's fun, but it's kind of annoying in the long term. But I also think that War and Iceborne have bad things, annoying things.
I didn't even like Iceborne, to be honest. Like, not until Elytra, I hated Iceborne.
I hate with my soul the Clutch Claw. I think it's called.
Yeah, I think
really
everyone does.
Okay, so I know we talk about the Clutch Claw all the time. It's not even the claw that I have problems with. It's the fact that the damn thing didn't work. Like, you would attach to different body parts. You would fall off because the monster would go in a wall. Like, you would try to, like, move your position on the body and go to a random part. You're like, and the whole thing was just awful to use.
What I hate about the Clutch Claw is how necessary it is for you to actually deal damage and to actually do stuff and be relevant.
So I think
you have to be engaging. I don't know it. You have to be getting up on the monster every once in a while if you don't want your damage to go like floor level.
Yeah, because you drop your damage by like 60% if you don't have a part tenderized.
Or even more. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, when I think both games have his own little mistake or his big mistakes. So I think that when War came up, it was like a new enter game, graphics, war, gameplay, everything. So everything was new for everyone, includes the all gamers of Monster Hunter, and in a high quality way. So I think that most people I know that like War and Iceborne play like 800 hours or 600 hours. No, a lot of time. So of course they got kind of burned of the game, and when they went to Rise or Sunbreak, it was like the same game too, which is not bad. I mean, that was Monster Hunter was every single time, right? But every little mistake that had Rise or Sunbreak, people complain even more. It was more annoying, I think. Okay, like if you go to War, you see a new War, graphics, everything. You see a mistake, and say, "Oh well, whatever. The game is beautiful. The game is new." I can understand that. Okay, but you go to Rise and Brick, and you see like a downgrade in graphics, map design, maybe monster design, and the little mistakes that Rise and Sunbreak have, suddenly they start to get big. People complain even more. And then not exactly toxic. It's not toxic, okay? But I think that people end with a circle of bad thoughts, critics of the game, and people start to get depressing about the game together.
Yeah.
So people start to feel like, I don't even want to play the game. It doesn't feel worth it.
Well, I get where that's coming from, and I feel like the burnout is also attributed to how they model these new 5th gen Monster Hunter games, where they keep forcing you to come back for their title updates and stuff. So it's like we never really stopped playing since World came out. Like every other month, every month we're coming back to do something more, and it's just like a little bit. And so we just keep doing it. And they were updating like World up until 6 months before Sunbreak came out, basically. And then so we had like a small break, and then Rise came out, and then we played Rise, and we played it, and then had those little updates, and then we had Sunbreak, and we're gonna have all these little updates. So I feel like it is just people are getting burnt out because we never really stopped playing Monster Hunter. There hasn't been a break in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, in the old times we have to wait like almost I think a year and a half between each game.
Mm-hmm.
At least we have to wait at least that time. There's also I think that's the reason, to be honest, why people are playing all games, because they are completely different from the gameplay that Rise and War have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people is going for not only for nostalgic reasons, but because it's like a game, the feeling of a new game. Not exactly because. Oh, sorry.
What, no, I was gonna say, well, it is kind of like a new game because now that we have Frontier private servers, since Frontier got shut down, people are going out of their way because they don't have to pay a monthly subscription to go play Frontier, and they never got the option to play Frontier. That's an old game, so people are playing that. And now we have those Try private servers. A lot of people are going back to Try and 3U as well. So it's like, it is kind of a new game. Yes, obviously the graphics aren't quite there. Granted, I will say, still, third generation maps look gorgeous, and they are way better than Rise maps. Like, I'm in awe at how good these third gen maps look.
I think the same.
They're quite, the lighting and everything is so good. But it is like a new game. And yeah, some people don't like the gameplay of how fast and anime-ish that Sunbreak is, but the older games are still technically new to them, and they play more like older Monster Hunter games.
Yeah, I even went to play Freedom Unite recently.
A lot of people have been on that too, yeah.
Yeah, I think before Sunbreak, a month before, I started playing with a friend in a private server too. And I confirmed something that it's not nostalgia. I really like all gameplay.
Yeah,
all
same.
generation gameplay. I really like it. Well, I mean, the slow pace, the methodical approach to the monster. I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah, it's more thinking involved. And I hate that people do say that, oh, those other games are just clunky and bad. You're just nostalgic. I'm like, no, I've been playing 4U and GU for like a decade at this point. And yeah, now I'm back in Try. We're going back for it, and they're still great. They hold up so well.
Yeah, many people tend to say that all the Monster Hunter games are just a good memory. And no, it's not just that. They're really good games. The gameplay itself is quite good if you're patient enough.
I mean, there's something that there are some things that are annoying, clunky. I mean, yeah, for the inventory management can be annoying in Freedom. The hitbox, yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but the gameplay itself is good.
Yeah, of course, it can kind of feel like that after playing World and Rise, but
well, it's not like Rise doesn't have its fair share of janky hitboxes and stuff.
Yeah.
I hate that Mizu has that one attack where like it body slams forward, but if you're behind him, it still hits you. You're like,
for example, Malseno has quite some horrible hitboxes.
Yeah.
For example, the wing attacks. You may be like 2 meters left from the guy, and it still hits you.
Yeah, like all his attacks that like he puts his wings down and like scrapes out. Like if you're near the dust, you get hit by that shit. You're like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna get hit by him, but I guess those rocks are flying really fast. Yeah, like so it's like I was just gonna say like yeah, there's some jank in all Monster Hunter games.
Or for example, Nergi back in World. Nergi got some janky hitboxes.
Dude, his head slam. I hated his fucking head slam because like. I don't know what hits you. You should just be around the head and like, oh no, you got hit. For sure.
When he tries to stomp on you, more than once I've been left thinking, what did actually hit me? Like the air, the existence, the space, what?
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I get that people don't like the stop to, use items and drink potions, but it's like, that's part of the game, man. You can't just, stop whenever you want and chug a potion. You gotta, watch their attacks and make sure you got some free time. It's just a different like style of gameplay. It's just, yes, it's slower, but I
love it.
It's like I like it. I'm tired of people just being like, oh no, those games are bad. Like you're just, you're old, you're a boomer, can't keep up. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not any of that. I mean, I'm a boomer, but yeah.
So yeah, I think that that's something that have to do with the problem in people not playing Rise and Sunbreak. I mean, it doesn't even have a lot to do, to be honest. You just have to level the anomaly level, I think is in English, the investigation.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you have to do, to be honest. Yeah, there's not much to do. But
there's also not much to chase because the cure augments are just so entirely OP random. Like you're not going to get anything good, like realistically. And the same for charms. Like you're chasing a ghost.
But for example, Monster Hunter 4U Ultimate, the end game system, was
my favorite game on the series. Yes.
The end game, it was kinda the same. You had to level a quest only to reach the max level on a monster. Then you get maybe a good weapon. You could chase for months until you get the perfection of the weapon you want to get. So sorry.
I was gonna say, I just think the difference there really is that the relic weapons and stuff in 4U were good, but they were only like marginally better, like a perfect relic weapon compared to a craftable. Whereas like charm and curio augments for Sunbreak, like the variance is huge. You can have like terrible to fucking godlike difference that you're trying to chase. And at least in the 4U guild quest, like once you get to that certain level, you get like the apex monsters, which are kind of new. They have new attacks and new fights for a lot of those monsters. Whereas anomaly monsters, it's just, hey, this got more life, more damage.
Yeah, you can basically not use any relic weapons and barely notice a difference.
Yeah.
For example, if you used bow, remember that how's the word?
Fire spread relic bow.
No, the infamous Kama's edition.
Yeah, it's Steve's bow because it had the close range coats act as power coats buff. Was amazing, and it was basically the most required bow. Like it was the best bow hands down. But there were some relic bows that had niche matchups if you had like, the perfect bow. Like I used fire spread against Shigaru. And that was slightly better than Kama's edition just because,
or you could use fire pierce against, I don't know, Carlos.
Yeah, something like that. There's a couple fights where you would want a relic bow, but they're only a little bit better than Kama's edition. Little bit.
Yeah, the difference was so slight that you could basically not care at all about relics and just go with the craftable weapons.
Okay, so that's my point. If in the past game, in Monster Hunter 4, the difference was so small, why people keep playing the same monster? I mean, the first time or the second time, the Apex monster, okay, new moves sometimes, okay, why, cool. But afterwards, why you keep playing and killing the same monster for a little difference in DPS?
I think there's a couple things. One was that the gameplay, I think people just thought it played better, it felt better to play. And it's just that was the fun of the game, was playing the game. You're not necessarily having to chase something down, and it's good to play. Like I don't feel that way about Rise in Sunbreak. Like I like the game, but there's just so many like complaints I have that I don't like to constantly play the game. And the older games, I don't have that issue. Like I feel like whenever something goes wrong, it's more on me. It's not the game being bad. There's that, but then also there is still something to chase as you're playing because you want to just play the game. You still have a goal that you're trying to chase. And then also the multiplayer and the hub systems and stuff were back then were really fun. They're like way more multiplayer friendly than they are now.
Oh,
and so you're playing with friends with, gameplay that you really like with something you're still kind of chasing. Like, it was just everything came together really well in those games.
Yeah. I see where you're going. Yes.
Yeah.
I also think. Oh, sorry. Keep.
I think that something that motivates many people to keep playing, even if there's not a real motive for farming, it's actually a speed running. Like,
well, that's my motivation.
Not that many people, but some people try to push themselves to get better at a specific monster or whatever.
That's the entire point of the game. What are you grinding for? Especially like once you finish a story, what are you playing for?
But
you play for
many
more
people
gear and more stuff.
But
too
many people don't see the games as that. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Many people will just get to whatever end game that is, get whatever they want, and just leave the game because there's nothing on it for them anymore.
You kind of have one of them right here, because I never been a fan of the end game in Monster Hunter. Really, I don't enjoy them a lot. I reached the max level, I think. Then I stopped playing in general, unless I'm playing with friends, like Phemeto say, solo for fun. I don't like them. I don't think that they could be called end game. It's just a green loop.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly what it is.
I've been playing other games like MMOs, like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy. That's an end game because you have to progress in a boss, let's say, in where you are dying. You have to learn the monster. Sorry, the boss, and that doesn't happen in Monster Hunter. The end game is not the monster; it's simply an item. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly.
No, I get you 100%. It's like the difference between raiding and like WoW and stuff is that you're trying to overcome something you haven't already beaten, basically. And that's all of their end game systems after you get your max level. In Monster Hunter, you're still fighting the same monsters you've always ever fought. You're just grinding, random stuff to hopefully get an item. And I 100% get that, and that's why I don't think people stick around to Monster Hunter games because of that. It's just like, oh, what are we doing? Fighting the same monster? Why bother? I think the main difference between like now in Monster Hunter games versus like the previous ones is that the end game grind for now is you have to RNG grind all like these actual like items to make your set actually good, like your charms and your hero augments and stuff like that. Whereas before, that stuff was relatively easy to get. It was just you were playing just for the sake of playing because it was fun. Now it's a chore and people don't like it. And like same for like, end game raiding and stuff. Like it's fun for in World of Warcraft and stuff when you're doing like your raid stuff until you're on farm and you're doing the same fucking fight every week and you're like, why am I doing this?
Yes.
Because I think the main charm of the series was to actually decide where you want to end.
Yeah.
Like, you can say, I reached this point. I have no use in playing anymore. I can just drop it.
It's like GU. It's like, oh, I did all the EX deviants. Okay, I'm done. Okay, good.
Yeah, for example, or I completed my guild card. I can stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people. I think that people are on his own right to want a endless Monster Hunter, but I think maybe people should understand that it's not wrong to stop playing Monster Hunter. I think, right? Okay, I'm bored of the game. It's not a problem. It's not.
Oh yeah, you try saying that on fucking Twitter. Like, I don't want to play. I'm bored.
So instead, people. I understand that Rise and Sunbreak has a lot of problems in the game design itself. I know, but I think that it's not wrong to say, okay, I'm gonna wait for the next update. That's it. It's okay. You had your fun killing the new monsters. Just stop playing. It's not. I think that speedrunners have a lot of problems with that, of course, because they keep the game loop for a long time, mostly until the next game. I understand that.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop from that. I'm gonna actually not play Title Update 3 just because there's other stuff out. I'm gonna try to at least, because it is hard to stay away from Monster Hunter forever because it's addicting.
You could simply play to kill the new monsters and still play the other games.
I have mental problems though. I can't do that because if I fight something, as soon as I fight it, I'd be like, I could have done better.
Oh, okay.
And then I get stuck. I can't not do that.
The famous speedrunning mentality. I can always go for better.
Yeah, that was like when Title Update 2 came out. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go and I'll do the monsters, I'll update my sets and put those videos out and be done. And then like as I'm trying to fight the monsters, I get clips with the weapons and stuff. I'm like, I could have done that better. And then end up speedrunning all the monsters. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? So, like, I can't.
Okay, I think I'm understanding a lot of things now with that explanation. Okay.
So yeah, you guys got anything else you guys want to talk about, shill about, or do anything before we head on out of here?
When do you think the next Monster Hunter game will be?
I don't think they're going to announce it until they've already announced all the updates for Sunbreak, which we still have 2. They said more after the spring.
Because I was talking about this with a friend some time ago, and he thought that the next Monster Hunter game might actually come with an important anniversary of the series.
When's the anniversary?
I think it's in March, maybe. I don't remember right now.
I could see them announcing it in March because after the spring announcement, I feel like that's going to be like the end of Sunbreak. They might have like one other update planned, but I think that's probably going to be the end. And then if they announce it in March, they'll probably get like a trailer for like the Tokyo Game Show or something in the summer. And then it might come out either November or January, because that's kind of how it was with World, is that they announced World at like at E3 in the summer, and then they released it in January 6 months later. So like they typically don't have a whole lot of like wait between here's the announcement and when the game comes out. So I could see them next spring, next summer announce it, and then we get it at the end of the year at the start of 2024.
Yeah, what he said is that the next game might surely come in 2024 because that's the 20th anniversary of this series, I think.
Yeah, 2004 was the first one.
Yeah, and he thinks an important game might as well fit there.
I could see that. I see January 2024 as Monster Hunter 6. But then also think about that. If it's January of 2024, we have another year of dealing with just Sunbreak.
Yeah. I think they said that Sunbreak updates were gonna last for like more than 1 year.
I mean, technically, it's going to be like that because it came out with spring this year, and then they have like the roadmap going up to spring of next year, and then I think they're going to have one more after that.
Because how many updates did we have in Iceborne and World?
A lot.
Because I think it was about 1 year too.
We have like 7, maybe.
Yeah, we had a lot. I think it was like every other month for a little over a year.
So yeah, that's it. I think it will be around 1 year of updates, or even more.
Yeah, I mean that seems to match up. So we'll have updates up until spring or summer of next year. And then we still have to deal with the rest of that. Probably 6 months of downtime before the next Monster Hunter game. That's kind of what they did with World 2. So
yeah.
I honestly, that does not feel good to me. I don't want to deal with having Sunbreak for another year. Maybe they'll do like another like spin-off game in between. Like they'll do like an update for Stories 2, like an expansion or something for that, just to like throw another wrench in the plan.
I think giving some break between game and game, it's not that bad. Because
it's not. It's just again, until they fix the problems I have with Sunbreak, I just don't really want to play more. And thinking about that, that's the only Monster Hunter game that's going to be, new for the next, 14 months. I'm like,
because to set an example with another series, the Pokemon games. Yeah, releasing one game at a year, it's probably the worst idea they had.
You didn't have to do Pokemon for that. You could have talked about any sports game, any Call of Duty game. They all get the same reception.
Yeah, but Pokemon is quite some example because Scarlet and Violet just came out, and many people are talking about the stuff in the game, and not good stuff.
Yeah, the game it runs like shit.
I mean, the game itself is good.
I like the game. No, I reviewed it. I thought it was a good game. Like, I think so. Here's my thing. We're kind of off topic now, but I like Scarlet and Violet. I really do. Kind of like Arceus. I think the ideas they have are good, and they brought a lot of the stuff from Arceus to Scarlet and Violet to like a mainline Pokemon game. I like all the features and mechanics that we have now. If they could just not fuck anything else up and add stuff to the next like series and just improve and refine on the graphics, the draw distance, the like all the little issues that we have in this game, that would be great. I just want this game, but better at this point.
Yeah.
Arceus was actually the best idea they had in many years.
Well, because they haven't had any ideas in many years.
Yeah, because there was a step ahead. That something that hasn't been done in like 7 years or more.
Well, yeah, and I think that they did Arceus because they wanted to try these ideas out in the mainland series games, but they were just too afraid of how they would be received. So they did a spin-off game first, and then they're like, okay, people like these features, and then they'll push them over to the actual game. I think that's how
they wanted to test how people like that, and then go and then see if it was worth to go on or to leave it at that.
Thing is that I think most people, you, Phemeto, and me, that I'm playing right now Pokemon, and I'm waiting to end the podcast to keep playing Pokemon.
Same here.
I didn't start playing it yet because I'm currently playing Persona 5.
So far,
I'm gonna finish it first.
So far, it's been good, to be honest. I like it a lot. But the thing is that the problem with Monster Hunter and the GR cycle, etc., is that a lot of people is not happy with the game itself, with Sunbreak and Rise. In Pokemon case, people are happy with the game itself. They are not happy with the technical things, with the graphics, with the
it's like the opposite of Monster Hunter. They like the gameplay for Pokemon. Like, it's Pokemon. It's always been the same. People love it. And it's just it's all the other stuff that they hate. Whereas Monster Hunter is like, it actually runs okay compared to other games on the Switch, and it looks good for the Switch. But it's like, but they don't like the gameplay part of it, and that's why they're complaining. Where they're not complaining so much on Pokemon, they're just talking shit about the graphics.
Yeah. One thing that I think happens a lot with both Pokemon and Monster Hunter fans is that when you're used to buy the games, you buy all the games, no matter how they are.
Yeah. Yes, I could say that about Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Totally.
Because many people complain about Pokemon Sword and Shield, for example, and that people still bought the game.
That was me.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So to be fair, hold on. Let me be fair. I bought Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I hated it. I didn't buy any of the DLCs. I stopped playing Pokemon because I thought it was horrible.
I bought the DLC and actually didn't play those a lot. So yeah.
Oh, cool. So you got your money's worth. Got it.
Yeah. Money. That's not how you waste your money.
Yeah. So for me, it was I bought Sword and Shield and I played it thinking that, okay, because I like competitive Pokemon, I wanted to play it. But after I hated the game so much, I just dropped it. And then when Arceus came out, I first pirated it so I could play it early because it dropped the leak early. And then I was like, oh, this game's actually good. And then I actually went and bought the game so my girlfriend could play it too. And then when Scarlet and Violet came out, I again got it early because it leaked early. And then I was like, oh shit, this game's actually good. And then I bought it because I could play online now. So, I mean, it's like, I tested it first. I didn't just buy it blindly. Monster Hunter, I'm just going to buy it blindly.
I mean, there's not a lot of games that can compete with Monster Hunter. So I mean, if you like the game loop of Monster Hunter, it doesn't matter in the end. You're gonna put the next one because there's no other thing that you can say. Oh, I can call my eat of hunting. And I also don't think that will be
that's
what
the
that
thing.
one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Monster Hunter as a game doesn't have any direct competition. Like there's nothing in the market similar to Monster Hunter.
Well, Wild Hearts is coming out.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of hope at that game, to be honest.
I don't either because it's EA. I know. I want it to be good because I would just want more hunting games.
Because it's EA, because the game itself is it's objectively not even comparable to Monster Hunter, I think.
What is? Sorry, you kind of went in and out there.
Repeat? Sorry, I didn't quite.
Oh, I didn't hear you. So saying, what did you say isn't going to compete with Monster Hunter?
For example, the gameplay itself doesn't feel as engaging as Monster Hunter.
Wild Heart, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels like you're just smashing buttons. Stuff happens.
Did you play it?
For a bit, not too much, but I think I played it when it was on beta testing.
Oh, I didn't know there was beta for it.
Yeah, I think the beta was open for everyone, and almost everyone could play it.
What? How did I fucking miss that? Oh well.
I don't know. I think that Masamune got one beta, so I think he played two. Oh well, you probably don't know Masamune. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, another Spanish.
He's a Spanish Monster Hunter creator, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know him.
I didn't play the game, but I think that I was watching the gameplays, etc., and I think that it's more like the other games like God Eater, I think it was called, or Toukiden. I don't know. It feels more like I mean, Monster Hunter at this point is kind of hack and slash, I guess, yes. But I think it's the Wild Heart is more toward the Devil May Cry gameplay.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it wasn't weight in the attacks. It feels like the combat wasn't refined enough because every single monster was simply big, and we're doing our how to call it AOE attacks him. I don't know how to explain. Sorry, I don't know the words, but it feels like there's no the precision of monsters like Thinogre with the pan of his hand, of his hand, etc.
It's like you go in, you swing, and you step out, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yes. Like every monster simply swing around, and you play around that by hitting the faster you can.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, sorry.
No, I get it. There is that style of gameplay where it's you go in, you couple combos, and then you come out before you get hit, and you kind of rinse and repeat kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the thing, the feeling I got from the gameplay. So I think it's more towards that other kind of game that is not exactly Monster Hunter. Also, the gadget things is not exactly of my liking. The hammer and the wall thing that you can put in.
I kind of liked it just because I think it felt more like Palico contraptions to me. They're just making weird fucking gadgets. But yeah, I don't know, that's just me.
I don't know. I think it's fun for another kind of game, but not for a game that tried. Yeah, a game that is trying to fight the Monster Hunter genre.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought Dauntless did a pretty good job, and then they fucking ruined it.
Yeah. We talked about it in the past. Yeah, I think the same.
I was so excited for Dauntless. Like before it went to like Epic Games Store, like in the betas and stuff. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, when I tried it, I thought it was going to be a really good game, and it really disappointed.
Yeah, well, because they haven't done anything. The game came out like 4 years ago, and I think like we've had 3 Monster Hunter games since they came out, and I think Dauntless added like 4 monsters in 4 years. And then they keep resetting like player progression because they keep changing how progression works.
Yeah, and the idea on the monsters is just everything is a giant demon or something like that.
Yeah.
No. No, I don't think that tablets have only giant things. Or I might.
Some of the new ones are pretty big, but it's also all the new monsters are just like it's this monster, but now it's this element.
Yep.
It's like okay.
But the lack of originality. Basically.
Yeah, there's no originality. But it's like it sucks because like the core gameplay was there. I fucking love the repeaters too. Like they were the best guns I played in a Monster Hunter game.
They were busted.
Yeah, but they're always busted. It's guns. Come on, it's always busted.
Yeah, every gun in every game is busted.
Yeah, like, it just felt good to play though. It's because you still had to be in melee range to recharge and suck the ether out of them. But it was really fun. I love having the landmines. I love the skills. Like they had great gameplay. It's just they didn't improve on anything and then put all their money into cash shop and cosmetics.
Yeah, it's a shame because they have some cool designs like the void bat thing.
Yeah.
That, I was surprised when I said that. It was, oh, this is pretty cool, to be honest. I want to see more of this. Nope.
Yeah, and I really liked fighting Pangar and Hellion. I liked having their interrupt system was really cool to like knock them out of the attacks. Yeah, like it was really cool. Like they had some really good ideas, and then they're just like, nah, we're not gonna do anything else. So that's why I really hope Wild Hearts is good because I want another Monster Hunter game that's I can play that's not Monster Hunter. It's just nothing's gonna compete. It seems like.
Yeah. I want also other kind of games that with that thing that Monster Hunter have, you know. But it doesn't seem like the games I played so far can do the same. I mean, with Souls games, we had something like Silent Sanctuary, which it's not exactly the same, but it does have the feeling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I want that the same thing for Monster Hunter, which so far wasn't. It's not there.
Yeah, I get you. I think Souls games and stuff and Souls likes are the closest things we're gonna get for a while.
Yeah, but how many Souls like games have been there about the years?
Like, a lot.
Demon Souls, yeah, but Demon Souls are the original Souls.
But I mean, even like outside of the Souls series, there's a lot of like other games that are coming into the Souls market that are also just as good, to be honest. Like there's some really good Souls likes out there.
Yeah.
It's just but Monster Hunter we're not getting Monster Hunter hunting like games basically is the thing. I think that's the difference.
I think the Surge. The first one it was really bad. But the second one I like it a lot, to be honest.
So and I had a similar feeling. I actually really liked the first Surge. I saw how bad it was, like clunky wise. Like it's like stuff just didn't really work well, and like scaling and equipment was really weird. But I liked the Surge 1. And then the Surge 2 was just better in every way. I really like the Surge 2. Like it's really
same. That's what I want for a Monster Hunter, you know? I want the Surge 2 of Monster Hunter. That's what I want, but let's see if it's somewhere
to have something similar.
Yeah.
Different setting, different game. Just I want to see what other ideas can be thrown out there because obviously Capcom's not going to change Monster Hunter's anything forever. Like they're going to have the exact same game. It's because it's like works. Pokemon now. Yeah, they're going to have this formula with everything, and then they're just going to like give one new gimmick every game going forward.
But that's what happens when you know that people are going to buy the game anyways.
Yeah,
I mean, I like it.
But that's why we want a new Monster Hunter game, like a different game. It's because it has to have something innovative that Monster Hunter isn't doing.
It has to mean some competence from the already existing series.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like that's impossible.
Yeah, it probably won't happen, but hey, at least it's a new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the kind of stupid player that loves to start over again in Monster Hunter, killing the awesome monsters, grabbing some herbs, some mushrooms. I don't know. I like that loop from starting all over again with new things. So I'm happy with it so far.
Peak Monster Hunter is egg delivery quests, which we don't have anymore. You can't even consider the egg delivery quests in Rise and Sunbreak to be that because you can use wire bugs and get around. Like you get back in a minute, no problem. It's not the same.
It's not the same. Not the same.
I wonder that would be like the best Monster Hunter game. It's just delivery quests.
You have something similar, base innovations.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
Because
base
base gen was like 50 gathering quests. It was like half the game was gathering quests.
Do you remember what 3 stars on Village looked like? That was like 5 pages of quests, and half of those were gathering quests.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you can fight a Great Macau again. You can fight a Nibblesnarf. You can fight, like, I don't know, a Cuckoo. And then everything else is gathering.
Yeah, or killing a small stuff.
Yeah, or killing small monsters. Yeah. Ugh. And I get that, like, I get, like, people don't like that was Gen was, like, almost all gathering quests for, like, the village stuff and, like, the low ranks. But it's like, you also didn't have to do them. I mean, shit, you might have, because you like to do that shit, but...
Yeah. The worst thing is that Gen had an appeal for doing this quest. It was the damn Hayabusa feather.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Dude, getting that feather was rough.
Yeah,
and, you had to have it. Every fucking set had it.
Yeah, even G-rank sets had it because that thing was just way too good.
Well, and that's the other thing actually I don't like. Ever since like Gen, we've had that like crit and crit boost meta, and because the Hayabusa feather was like crit I2 on just the helmet, but I think it was so strong because you were running Wex crit boost and then you had crit I2 for another 15%.
Yeah, that was so strong because the meta since then was just so balanced.
I mean, I guess but I just don't like how everything was balanced around crit boost. It still is, but yeah.
Yeah, but everything is, so you just go for it.
Do you think crit boost would be as good as it is if we didn't have weakness exploit being 50% affinity? Like if it went back to like pre-gen values where it's just like, hey, we're adding 5 to the hit zone?
No, it wouldn't be. Like, obviously wouldn't be. Because in Gen, they changed weakness exploit to be the thing that gives you 50% affinity. Because if they didn't, critical boost would be shit.
Well, but you still had some things like Nargacuga weapons that have high base affinity in general. Do you think it would still be a crit boost meta with some crit eye and Narg weapons? Or do you think that just raw would still be the dominant factor?
And repeat again, please. I didn't quite catch.
No, it's fine. I was just saying, like, even if we didn't have weakness exploit, we still had high affinity weapons like Nargacuga having like 40 or 50% affinity. Do you still think crit boost would be as good as it is now, assuming we had like Narg weapons with high affinity, even if we didn't have Wex?
It will probably be, but crit boost being a new introduced ability, I think they wanted to give some attention to it for the players.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Silver Buffalo's armor was basically almost all you needed in base, yeah.
Yep, that Fire Emblem quest, man.
Yeah, the Marth waste thing, which was actually insane.
I'm just surprised they kept crit boost going all through World and Rise.
Yeah, that's because Wind's exploit kept being the same as it was in base, yeah.
So in Monster Hunter 6, would you prefer Wex crit boost gone or what?
I don't really mind the meta being centered around that, but I think I would like having another option. For example, with Bolden, I think it is, or the Rising Chameleon's skill, they slightly gave us another option than the current Wex Sprint Boost meta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a more agitator focused meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I want to have the game shooken up going forward. Just because I'm tired of, we've had 3 games now. We've had the exact same meta.
I mean, unless they rework weakness exploit, I think it's gonna be always the same because it's a lot of value only for that skill itself.
Yep. But I think that's a problem though. Like, isn't that boring to have?
I mean, maybe for speedrunners, yeah. Well, no, I think everyone is using it anyway, so it's so good.
Even if you're not a speedrunner, you're gonna use it
like
anyways.
everyone runs it. But I think it just devalues so many armor skills. Well, I don't want to like go into that too much. I just think the armor skill systems needs to get changed altogether, but they'll never do that.
I mean, we have a very blotting skills in the right now. I mean, we have like 3 pages of skills. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, of course, you're gonna end using it, the crit boost, etc. Because what you're gonna use is instead, you know.
Well, yeah, because you could fit every DPS skill on a set. Like just throw everything on.
But the thing about the DPS skills now is that they don't make you play a different way than usual.
Well, they've never really done that. I think that's my problem with skills.
I think we talked about this before.
Yeah, it's just like the only thing skills do in this game is move numbers around. They don't make you play any different, and that's why I would like to see, I don't know, like something to like kind of like Frostcraft from Iceborne. It basically brought back crit draw meta. Crit draw was something that changed Greatsword's playstyle. I want to see more skills that just change the way you kind of have to approach a weapon.
For example, having kept the Seregios weapons gimmick. Rolling to sharp or rolling to reload or bowguns.
Yeah, because roll to reload was great too. That was a different way to play bowguns and stuff. Because you did.
Yeah, and that was fun.
Yeah, you didn't run siege heavy bowgun. You would run roll to reload heavy bowgun. That was great. I don't know. I just want the skill systems to be different. I'm just tired of them at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because it's just basically a way to improve your numbers. Nothing else.
Yeah.
That's why you have the new switch skills, I think. Because that's the only way they know how to swap the way you play the game.
Yeah.
Or the weapon. Because I think it's really hard to design skills that change the way you approach the game. Because things like the Frostcraft, etc. Let's say they are with the weapons. It's like you say, drawing the weapon, but you can't do a lot much. There's not a lot of room to make new skills that go with the flow of the game, I think.
No, you're right. You're right. And that's why I actually do like switch skills and being able to like customize your moveset a little bit. I wish I kind of leaned more into that, to be honest.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people don't like hunter arts because they're either you have to use this all the time or it's useless. Like I don't think we need silk binds or hunter arts, but I still like switch skills to be able to change up your core moveset because that's doing something that the armors can't do. It changes the way how you play your weapon. Like Gunlance varies significantly depending on what kind of switch skills you use and how it determines how you block and what you reload on quick reload and stuff like that. And
for example, switch skills and redirection as a skill means actually something different because redirection is a really cool skill, I think.
Yeah, I like redirection. It was the only thing that saved heavy bowgun in Sunbreak.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like redirection's cool. No, I just like redirection.
I don't like exactly how how it is called, the switch itself.
Oh, the scroll swap, switch skill swap.
The scroll swap.
I think it's kind of clunky. I don't know. I'm not exactly. I think since the controller is too blotted of movement with the switch skill itself, etc. I think it's kind of hard to do the input. I don't know if
No, you're right. The input's annoying. Because also with that, they gave us so many weird button combinations to have to do. On top of having all the silk bind stuff too, it's a lot. And then also, how often is it usable that you want to actually have access to all your switch skills? Like, because for the most part, it's just like I'm built around this, I'm doing this kind of thing. Like, do people actually use it?
A problem with that is that the inputs in this game are quite annoying to do, and the input lag in this game is, for some reason, is massive.
Mm-hmm.
For so many weapons, I don't know why. Inputs are just shit.
Yeah, people would probably use the scroll swap more if it was like one button.
Yeah,
I would. I mean, you can make you can make one button with the action scroll. I think it was called.
Yeah.
I think you can make one button that way, but it's still not comfortable enough.
It's also not comfortable on the mouse and keyboard because it's still not one button, despite it being one button. Because the game fucking shitted and the stupid inputs. Like, okay, this is oh my god, I hate talking about this every fucking time. I have my like silk binds and my scroll swap bound to one button. One button. Like push C, it does like a silk bind, which is like a 3-button combo. But the game doesn't see that because it's still emulating a controller. So if I push C, it pushes R in triangle or R in circle or whatever. And because the game input drops, if I push C, it'll drop the R sometimes and only push circle and load my special ammo. And I'm like, fucking why even have the damn keybind?
Yeah, but something similar happened with Glad's clones on weapons back in Iceborne.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. For some weapons, you had to press more than one. That was awful. For example, on Insect Glaive, I had to aim and then press R3 and then go on.
Yeah, and how'd that work out?
I think it was the same with Lance.
Yes.
And gun Lance. You have to press the stick for it to get on the clutch claw.
Yes.
Mode.
I hate R3 and L3.
That sucks.
Yeah. That's why I don't like so much Sunbreak controls. It's too many buttons. They have way too many things to input, and I just don't like. And the fact that they have the input buffering and the input dropping with all these other buttons you have to push, it just feels bad.
Yeah, a too complex set of buttons to do a really simple thing.
Yeah. And that's why I don't really want more gimmicks going forward, because then that's just going to eat more button inputs.
Yeah. This is something personal, but I'm kind of a casual player in general. I don't. So there's something we lost with the lance that a lot of people don't even remember, that you could hold the shield in front of you and you could move sideways.
Oh, that was a thing?
Yeah, you could. So you could face the monster and you could move in any direction without losing the war towards the monster. You can't do that this anymore. If you go
backwards,
backwards. Sorry, the hunters does this. Yeah. So why we lost this? Because we use the L2 button, which now we use for the switch skills or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's also something you start to see that there's too many inputs that they have to sacrifice something.
That's why we lost Siege on Heavy Bowgun. It's because the Siege button is now our Silkbind button. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And using Siege now sucks because it replaces charge shot, so you have to hold fire, and then you don't have like any control over it. You just automatically go and just keep shooting until you let go. And it's like it just feels terrible to use.
Yeah. Totally true. I think they could do a better work on the controller keyboard. The keyboard moves with the gunning thing. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, the fact that you can't rebind like cannon stuff, like they have to be on somewhere. It's all terrible.
It's terrible.
Okay, so anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Well, maybe if you want. Oh, sorry, later.
I was gonna say I think I don't have anything else to say. So yeah. I don't know about Shincry.
I think we didn't talk about we talked about the collaborations, but we didn't talk about the events itself. The normal events. That there's been a lot of going on about the quality of the events in this game in Rise Sunbreak.
Yeah.
Because they say that not only the rewards, it's the events itself are worse. There are not a good amount. They don't have any purpose or whatever. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not like you're getting other reward like materials. You're not getting anything special about them. You're just like, I think every event quest is like fight these 2 monsters, right? Like every single one.
Yeah. For example, a really good way to implement events, and I think the best on all the series was in For You. Because we had monthly set of events, and in each set of events that like I went 1 page and a half.
Well,
those were a lot.
So I went back and looked at all the YouTube videos of the event quests because they used to do like a monthly, like, hey, here's all the new event quests coming to For You. Yeah. And they would have like a dozen quests, and every quest would be like, and then you can get this armor, and then you can get this weapon, and then you can get this thing. Like they all had like an actual item that you could get from them. A lot of it was like fan made creations because we don't have any of the fan made stuff like World had. World had the black blade, like charge blade and stuff. The black charge blade.
Yeah, and
then Wyvern Ignition. Yeah, the best great sword in the game. Yeah, like we don't have any of the fan made stuff. We don't have any event quests that just give anything. It's like, hey, here's a sticker, here's an emote, and here's a layered armor that was taken from World.
I mean, I like the stickers.
Really?
Because I know, and not as the only reward, but I like them because I use them a lot, to be honest. As I say, I play with a lot of friends and with a lot of people, with random people, and I like to use the stickers. Seriously, I don't think I have every single sticker customized with my own cutes. The thing is, the game is awful to play online. So in the end, it doesn't have a lot of use, you know? So I like the stickers, but the way the game is right now, I don't use them a lot.
Well, and the game does not promote online play at all. Like Monster Hunter used to be like a more, co-op friendly game, but now it is not.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, because why even bothering customizing your stickers when you're not gonna use them most of the time?
I mean, I want to, but I cannot because people doesn't care. People doesn't even speak in the chat. They just go for the monster, kill the monster, and poof.
Yeah, there's no social aspect at all.
I'm not gonna see them ever again. So yeah, I like those rewards, but right now they are not that good because what I'm explaining. So I understand why people is very annoyed by that because they don't find any use on them. So it's like there's no reward at all.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's going to change in Monster Hunter 6? Is this just a Rise/Sunbreak thing where they didn't have too much development time and they're just kind of doing what they can with what resources they have, or is this just going to be normal going forward?
I think they're gonna change it, but in a bad way because I think that we maybe, I hope not, but I think we might see even less rewards because they gonna go for more paid cosmetics thing.
I mean, yeah, probably. Because like, could you imagine if they had a set of event quests that each one gave you a different one of the plushie weapon layers? Oh, people would be all over that shit. All over.
Yes. Yeah, many people will go insane about it.
I would.
Dude, and that will be a really good motivation to play the game.
Here's big brain stuff. Capcom, you owe me. What if they had the DLC plushie weapons? You had to fight a plushie skinned monster, and then you get a special ticket to make the plushie version of the weapon.
That would be amazing.
There's 12 quests for you, or 14 quests. Go crazy.
And all the attacks of the monster make squeaky sounds.
Yeah, like fucking stupid shit like that. Because Monster Hunter used to be so lighthearted and have weird shit like that. Like, just do that. Just have fucking squeaky, fluffy monsters. I don't know. Like Zenogre's lightning balls throw pillows at you. Fucking, I don't care.
That would be amazing. Oh my god, yeah.
And that's the thing because mainly modders, since World the Nice One, have many insane ideas about quests or monsters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, the Resurgence team.
Yeah.
They do really good stuff. They keep on improving themselves and to bring monsters into Iceborne from old games and even new monsters made up by themselves.
Yeah, some of the new monsters have been really good.
There's one thing that about the events that I'm kinda angry about that because I think they lied to us on the face. It's the dual threat event. I don't know if you remember that.
All the challenge events.
For example, the double rank event or something like that.
They made an announcement when we're gonna make new kind of events called dual threat, and I was like, oh, I guess it's fine. It's the same as always. I mean, the first one, the Rathian and the silver
and the silver Warfalos and gold Rathian quest. That's a classic quest.
I mean, but it was even worse. There were it was not both of them at the same time. It was when the Rathian, I think, reached the 30% of life of the HP. Then the other one appeared. It was not the same the two of them at the same time. So I was why they call this a new kind of event if it's just the same
as every other event?
They use the word new too lightly, I think.
Yeah, but it's not dual if you have to almost kill the other monster to see the second one.
Or the second one to appear,
Yeah, because it works like every other arena quest, like every other multi-monster. That's like because they've gotten away from the multi-monster quests in 5th gen and stuff. It's always one after another. You have like a gauntlet style, not, hey, fight two of them at the same time, like old Monster Hunter games.
And the thing is, that itself isn't even a new idea because some Deviant quests on you worked like that.
I was really impressed when I went to the first one and I saw that and I was like, what? Why would you call this dual threat? I mean, it's the same as shit as ever. It's even worse. We had dual monster in the past. Why? I was really, really angry in that sense, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Makes sense.
You just call it one after another threat, and that's it.
I mean, if they called them gauntlet quests and have you fight, if you had to do like
they call them what?
They call them dual threats, but if they had like renamed them to gauntlet style, so if you had to do like Rathian, Rathalos, gold and silver, like 4 monsters, I mean that would be something different, I guess.
That would be a Huntathon, I think they're called.
Yeah, Huntathon, yes.
Yeah, I mean new for this game. Yeah.
Yeah, new.
That's something I don't understand. Why we lost the Huntathon? It was cool. I mean,
that was a cool concept that didn't come back.
It's not that something really incredible.
Really hard to do,
fine.
It's good for hunting parts. If you just need I need 1 million parts from this monster to make it set. Let's go do the Huntathon then. We'll fight 3 of them.
If you need to farm a monster too much, those quests were really good.
Were fun. I don't know. I think right now they drop some ideas they had in the past that it worked well in the. I don't know why
the event bringing the bringing event way. I'm spelling it terrible, so but I think you know what I mean.
I don't actually.
Me neither.
The way of bringing events back in for you, for example. Why didn't they do that here?
Oh, you mean the monthly thing?
Yeah. That way of having events was really good. Why not doing that here?
I don't know, but I get the feel that like Sunbreak's like dev team for post launch content is incredibly tiny, and they just don't have enough people doing stuff to come out with any meaningful content, as it seems. Because like I know obviously we're getting like variants and stuff, and that's fine, but if you see people like do modding work on like World and stuff, you can make and crank out a variant monster in like a week if you wanted to. It's not that much work. So I just feel like the dev team for Sunbreak is tiny at this point.
It's like the easy thing to do, but it's kind of meh.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like that's why we're not going to get anything like super crazy or special for the rest of Sunbreak.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they deserve to be criticized about that because, okay, as you say, they may be a small group of people working towards the updates, maybe. I'm not sure how much, but that's the thing. It feels like it's not okay because War was a big hit. I think it almost saved the entire company also.
Yeah, it really did.
Obviously with Resident Evil, etc., also help it. But Monster Hunter World was really, really a bestseller. So it feels like they are so greedy. I don't know with Sunbreak. It feels like they don't put any money and any budget on the game itself because it could be a lot greater in the updates.
Yeah, I feel like this world improved significantly throughout all the updates. Like we got the siege system with Kolv and Safi. We got a lot of added monsters because we actually got real monsters like Devil Joe and Rajang and Kolv and Safi and Elatrion, Fatalis. We got a lot of monsters with the updates, but like Rise and Sunbreak, we just get, I don't know, reskins essentially.
Thing is, it feels weird that War that started the thing had more let's say more well designed content that the next game where they could put all that money they got with War. It feels weird. It's basically I feel like they are going full steam towards the next game, the Monster Hunter 6.
I would love for that to be the case. I really do. I want Monster Hunter 6 to be good, obviously.
I hope so.
I mean, I'm a pessimistic person. I'm negative. I can't believe that, everything's going to be good and gravy and we're not going to have any complaints. I would like that to be the case. I want to be wrong, but I don't think that's how companies tend to operate.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not the case, I think I'm gonna start to be depressed about the future of the game because they got a lot of money with War and Iceborne, a lot of selling units. So at least if Rise and Sunbreak doesn't deserve that money, Monster Hunter 6 should.
Yeah, it better.
It better, right?
Yeah, because it's the 20th anniversary game, or so it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to make a really good game if they don't want to have some backlash.
Well,
some real
I don't
backlash.
know how well Monster Hunter 6 is going to sell because I feel like a lot of people that tried Monster Hunter World being their first game didn't really stick with Rise, and they might just be like, oh, it's just another Monster Hunter game and not really give it another chance or anything. Like the people who didn't stick around aren't going to pick it up again and be like, oh, yeah, more Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but they gotta make something for an occasion like that, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, well, I think that's a pretty good place to stop, I guess. We've been at this for almost 2.5 hours. So, yeah, you guys want any closing statements before we jump out of here?
I'm not. It's my first podcast, so I don't know how you close the podcast.
Well, I don't know. Be like, fucking follow me on YouTube and Twitter. I stream at this time, or fucking I don't know. Whatever you want.
Well, yeah. As I say, I'm mostly an Spanish content creator, but as I said, I also make some content that even there are some content like the last one that I did of Chainsaw Man that doesn't even have any language. So,
how many hours did you jump into that?
In the Chainsaw Man video?
Yeah.
I think it was like 10 days of editing the video itself. Yeah,
so much work.
More than 70 hours, I think. It was a lot of work, to be honest. At some points I was blocked with what theme put in the video along with the beat of the music. It was kind of exhausting.
Yeah, that was quite of a tough nut to crack.
It was the first time I did something that big in that sense.
Now that you talk about time spent on a video, I want to talk about something quite fun.
Okay.
Literally my last video on the channel, and wasn't even a day worth of effort to do.
Okay, so no effort at all.
Yeah. So we got it in like 1 hour or even less. And the miniature was us just doing some dumb shit or paint or whatever. And there is being the most viewed video on my channel by a far amount.
Isn't that funny how that works? You put in a lot of effort, you don't get anything, and then you do something stupid, and it's like, oh, that's where all the views are.
Yeah. The run right before that was my Furious 251 run. Basically, one of the ones I spent more time on, and it has like 10 times less views than a meme that I made in some hours.
Feels bad, right?
Yeah.
It feels bad, and at the same time, it's kind of funny.
Well, you have to laugh or cry.
Yeah.
I spent 1 month on this, not even 300 views. I spent like 2 hours on this, more than 2,000 views. Yes, YouTube likes me. That's what this tells me.
That's why I'm going nowhere, because I don't do meme shit.
But by the way, if you want to follow me, Riley Image on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll put you guys' like social links in the description and whatnot. Oh. Okay, well, it seems like a good place to stop. So thank you guys for hanging around. We'll always love talking about Monster Hunter and stuff. I don't get to do these enough, unfortunately. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later, and maybe bring you back for another one someday.
Thank you for inviting us.
Same. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. All right. Peace, guys. Have fun.
Peace.